And the 3 officers charged with shooting and killing an 8-year-old girl will learn if they will be allowed to keep their jobs. A Pennsylvania City Council is expected to make that decision tonight. The shooting happened last August after a football game. Police say they fired at a car that was heading toward them after hearing gunshots. BNC's correspondent Astrid Martinez has more on this story.
A terrible tragedy set in motion by a series of criminal events.
These two guys get in a gun battle, and as a result of that gun battle, a whole lot of bad things happen, including the killing of a little girl.
According to a criminal complaint, 8-year-old Fanta Bility was killed after 2 teens opened fire in a dispute outside of a Pennsylvania high school football game last August 27th. The district attorney in the case said the 3 police officers were stationed opposite the stadium's exit. As fans were leaving, a car turned onto a street directly in front of the officers and bullets rang out. In response, the officers fired in the direction of the vehicle and the crowd. Their gunfire struck 4 people, including Fanta. Attorney Bruce Castor represents Fanta's family.
Clearly here, nobody, not even the most ardent anti-police, think that the police officers here intended to kill Fanta Bility. Instead, they recklessly came to the conclusion that the people in that car were involved in some criminal activity.
Initially, the DA charged the teens, Angelo A.J. Ford and Haseen Strand, with Fanta's murder.
Charging those 2 initial shooters with the murder, that eroded trust a little bit, because it made it look like they were trying to pin something on these guys that didn't belong there. Square peg, round hole, that's what it looked like. But, at that point, there was a lot of more legal discussion, a lot more research. The DA impaneled the grand jury, and now he's calling witnesses and learning stuff about the case that he didn't already know. So he recognizes that he's mischarged. He changes that, and he decides to charge in the direction that they did. I frankly think that the case is now going in the right direction.
Officers Devon Smith, Sean Dolan, and Brian Devaney have each been charged with 1 count of voluntary manslaughter, 1 count of involuntary manslaughter, and 10 counts of reckless endangerment. According to the complaint, Officer Devaney was not wearing a body camera the night of the shooting. The body cameras worn by Officer Smith and Dolan were recovered by detectives, but did not include any footage of either of the 2 bursts of gunfire that night. In a statement, the attorneys representing the officers said the men are innocent and remain heartbroken for all involved. They said this is a terrible tragedy that was caused by armed and violent criminals who turned a high school football game into a crime scene where an innocent child lost her life. They go on to say that the 3 officers ran to the sound of gunshots and risked their own lives to protect that community. Prosecutors have also pledged to withdraw murder charges against the 2 teenagers in connection with Fanta's death. In Philadelphia, Astrid Martinez for BNC.